What do you think's the maddest Bill's ever been at you? That was a great conversation. Like, how about a bad one?
The worst conversation I've ever had with him, my second year, struggling my second year. And Josh Boyer, my corners coach, set me up to. Like, Boyer didn't, like, he comes in, and I think I was supposed to meet with him. And he was like, hey, I made a cut up. Bill wants to meet with you for a second. So I was like, all right. Man, I sit down in Bill's office for an hour. We watched, he started off with like three good plays from my rookie year, maybe four. And then for the rest of the hour, we watched bad play after bad play, missed tackles, pass interferences, like anything that I
Yeah.
did for the last like 2 years at that time, we watched.
The
And I
shit
remember,
you thought, the shit you think you get away with when he doesn't call you out in the meeting, you're like, all right,
yes.
no, but we're never going to watch this play again.
Oh, I mean, when I walked out of the meeting, like Mayo saved me because I walk out and I'm like, shit, I'm gonna get cut. Like I just watched an hour long film with the head, not the defensive coordinator, with the head coach about how bad I am. I'm like, this is, and I walk out and I tell Mayo, I'm like, yo, I just met with Bill for an hour, bro, all bad plays. And Mayo goes, don't worry about that. He did that to me too. Yeah, that's when I wasn't playing well. He did that. And he might have been lying, but at the time,
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
needed that.
you needed that.
I was like, oh, all right, I'll be okay then. Okay.
Mayo's doing a great. Mayo might be a head coach someday.
I think he will be.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance he might be the Patriots head coach someday.
Yeah. Who? Okay. Let's play succeed Bill because he can't coach to 100 years old. I kind of wondered. I wonder if it was going to be Josh.
I
Like
thought Josh, when Josh came back, after supposedly going to Indy and then coming back, I was like, all right, obviously he came back, to be the next head coach. Then he goes to Vegas. I think it's Mayo, though. I think obviously not a ton of coaching experience, but I think he has great experience of leading men.
yeah,
When he left, obviously he was a great captain for us when I was
yeah.
there, but then he left, got into the business world, and was crushing it in the business world. Even now, if you talk to him, like I'm sure when he goes on these interviews, it's not just like this football player or this coach coming. You get like CEO vibes from Mayo. He starts
Yeah.
talking about different things. Like I always laugh because he always tells us, and he says it to the media. He was like, this defense is a blank canvas. And you guys, you paint whatever you want on the canvas. Just stay on the canvas.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to create. And
Uh-huh.
he says that, and I'll be sitting there like, bro, you're talking to a bunch of football players. They're not putting all that together.
It sounds like
They
a
don't know
TED
what that
talk. It
means.
sounds like a fucking TED talk.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
he has those abilities that I think as an owner, if I met with him, I would want to hire him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, so like setting the odds here, a little gambling, he'd be like your odds on favorite, and then give me like a wild card maybe.
Oh, a wild card? See, to me, a wild card that shouldn't be a wild card would probably be Stevie B, would be Steve
Mm.
Belichick. He's a Belichick. He's now been the coordinator. I know it's not on paper, but he's been
Pseudo
the
coordinator, right?
coordinator for the last like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Defenses have all performed very well, and it's a combination between him and Mayo running it.
Yeah.
But I think obviously if you hire him, you still get Bill. You still get everything that he's done. You get his knowledge because he's not going to just leave his son. But I think both those guys will have a chance to be head coaches someday.
Yeah, and you get the like he's a little bit more toned down. Like I really hit it off with Steve. He came on this show. I couldn't believe it. I
Mm-hmm.
had Steve on here for like 35 minutes. We were bullshitting, telling stories. He was like out of his shell. Was it when Steve you first met Steve, was it hard to like I'm gonna be honest, like hey, listen, I got a dad who played and he's got a dad who coached. The routes are a little different because my dad can't get me a job as a player. But was it hard respecting him in the beginning and like what did he do to earn people's respect and what do you think's good about Steve? Because I really respected him. I liked him as a guy.
Yeah, not from me. I think the one thing that I've loved about Steve is his honesty.
Yeah.
Like I remember Steve Steve takes over. I forgot who left. I think Pat Graham left. Flo's moving the linebacker coach. And Steve said Bill tells him 2 weeks before the offseason program starts that he's going to be the safety coach. So
Mm-hmm.
he comes in there. Now he's walking in the room. It's me, Pat Chung, Daron Harmon, Nate Ebner. So he's walking in, and we got all these veterans. I'm older than Steve. Pat's older than Steve. He played with Daron. and he's probably like the same age as Nate.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks in there and he goes, yo, I'll be honest with y'all. I don't know what the F I'm doing right now. My dad told me 2 weeks ago that I was even going to have this job. And now I'm just sitting here like, I don't know what's next.
Yeah.
And that first year, we all just worked together. And then now when I look at him, I think his growth has come because of the honesty.
Yeah.
Not coming in saying like, my dad's Bill Belichick. I was born to coach. Like, I'm going to do this. Nah, he came in there and it was like, I'm going to learn from some veterans that I got in this room, take advantage of that opportunity that I get, and I'm going to grow as a coach. And I think now you look at him, the games he's coached in, like the game we played against Tampa back in 2021, like that's one of the biggest games. You got Tom Brady coming back. It's one of our better performances of the year. We fell short, but like we went out there and played tough with Brady. And I think that has come from Steve just continuing to build year in and year out.
Listen to the full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast streaming platforms. Wherever you want to get the podcast, you can get the podcast. Pretty simple. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Podcasts get pretty wild. This is real tame.